The sun's heat radiated throughout New York City, and Ryan Jr. and Justin Jr. were practicing parkour, leaping over tall buildings. Their practice area had a McDonald's and a lot of people walking around, prowling for lunch. Across the street from McDonald's, an American flag proudly waved, marking the country's greatness. Tall billboards were everywhere, but Justin Jr. and Ryan Jr. practiced way above the city. They drilled by jumping in and out of potholes, over tall buildings, repeating it many times until they were the best in New York. Now they can jump on buildings as high as 100 meters. The first 12 buildings were easy, but on the 13th, one of them had a jagged edge that was only 50 meters tall. The rest of it sloped down into a pile of rocks that workers were constructing.
I think we can jump that building with no problem.
But then Ryan Jr. got too impatient and didn't think properly.
I bet I can jump that building, the 13th one.
The building was tall on the top, and it was very pointy enough to spear someone, and it sloped down on the other side. It towered all over the other buildings, making them seem average. Ryan Jr. was walking along the perimeter of the building, desperately trying his best to scale the building, but it was impossible for him because he was too close and was unable to get enough momentum. Each time the real distance of the building was 50 meters, but to him it felt like 100 miles.
Be careful. If you miss, you will fall into a pile of rocks.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
It was too late. Ryan Jr. hasn't scaled the buildings carefully enough and jumped his highest, and he propelled forward. He fell into the pile of rocks, missing the building completely by 5 feet.
I'm falling down. Somebody help!
Ryan Jr. fell at a rate of 150 meters per second. It took 3 seconds for him to get to the bottom of the building. He was unconscious and his bones cracked like sticks. It sounded like an explosion of lightning. Shocked and surprised, Justin Jr. jumps off the building and races to the side of the building with a pile of rocks. He picked up his friend and put his hand on his chest as if to check if his heart's still beating. Justin Jr. let out a huge sigh of relief.
He's still alive but unconscious.
Justin Jr. carefully jumped down from the building to his friend. He was unconscious but still breathing. Justin Jr. spotted a taxi driving by.
Taxi! Over here!
Justin Jr. carried Ryan Jr. into the taxi. He seats him into the cushions and buckles him up. "Where do you want to go?" asked the taxi driver as Justin Jr. handed him some coins.
To the hospital and quick!
Justin Jr. was worried that his friend would die if the taxi driver was very slow, so he screeched and sped way over the speed limit.
I wonder if Ryan Jr. will be alright.
A few minutes later, the taxi arrived at the hospital with a big red cross on it.
Beep, 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 beep.
The taxi door opened and out came Justin Jr. carrying Ryan Jr. He raced to the doctor's desk.
Emergency! Emergency!
All of the hospital nurses looked up in confusion.
Doctor, help my friend, please.
Okay, we'll help your friend. Nurses clutched Ryan Jr. to one of the emergency rooms. Everything was too much for Justin Jr., seeing his friend in pain, so he went out of the hospital waiting for news of his friend. A month went by and Ryan Jr. was finally healed enough to be discharged. Justin Jr. waited in anticipation at the door. Ryan Jr. came out. He was currently in an arm cast with a sling, a leg cast, and crutches.
Thank you, Justin Jr. You are a good friend.
He tried to hug his friend but failed because of all his injuries. Justin Jr. hugged him instead.
Oh. Let's go to your house.
Okay, let's go.
On the way to Ryan's house, they talked about what to do instead of parkour and didn't do parkour much after that. They learned their lesson and decided to do parkour only once a year.